Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Therapy Talk. This is Pauline, and I have Tammy over here. And so, to our new people, welcome to Therapy Talk with Tammy and Pauline. This week is National Careers Week, but also this month is Women's History Month. So we figured we could talk about our careers, how we became these awesome therapists, and also talk about, women in history. So look out for our future videos for this month, because that's what we're going to really focus on. And also our social media, we are going to be engaging in some historical things about women. Okay, so since it's going to be story time, grab onto your favorite teddy bear, maybe your snuggly little blankie, or a snuggie. Grab a snack. A snuggie. Because it's story time.
So,
Tammy,
Pauline.
what's up?
Pauline. So, we need to check in with each other. We've been trying to do that. So, what have you been up to, girlfriend? What are you?
Wow.
What is some positive stuff going on in your neck of the woods?
My neck of the woods. You saved the day. Anyway, checking in. So there's a lot that's happened for me. February was great. I was born the 15th of February. Yes, real hot girl. And getting to see you, Tammy.
I know, it was so fantastic.
You came up, you got to meet Coach Cedric in person. You got to meet my other friend, Cassie. And then you also, you would have met Liz, but she couldn't make it. But we love you, girl. We'll see you in the comments below. Yes, that was
such
amazing.
a good trip. Oh my God, it was so awesome to spend your birthday with you and your friends. Yes. I love your friends so much. Oh my God.
Yes, we all have different qualities that make us a bunch. Yes, and then in addition to that, having friends in town here do this amazing birthday dinner party for me, that was everything. They told me just dress up and bring your influencer light, as I like to call it, and I did just that, and it was great. And then the brunch bunch, shout out to the brunch bunch. Y'all know what's up. What about you, Tammy?
Well, yes, your birthday was definitely a highlight recently, and actually being able to make it. It's been was that our fourth attempt of trying to meet with each other?
Get together.
So
yes.
It was just the relaxation I needed. I really soaked my booty in that hot tub almost every day. So it was nice. But I'm gonna have to say the weather, we've had so much snow, and it's kind of lame to talk about the weather, but in mental health, weather is a lot, and my mental health, I'm doing way better with the warmer weather. The snow is melting, and I can kind of see the end to this awful winter that we've had. So I'm just really appreciating the warmness and the snowing gone. Yeah, it's so good.
It's been an interesting winter in parts. I mean, it's been milder here in Oregon, but geez, back home in Texas.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, if you don't believe in climate change, this is evidence. It's a thing.
It's a thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad the weather is changing Tamika's mood. Your hair, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I meant to get it done before I came to see you, but they couldn't get me in fast enough. So of course, the day after I got back. So it's
yes.
Self-care. Well. We got to do self-care, right?
Got to do self-care. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
And just a side note, we attempted.
Oh yeah.
We did a vlog while everyone was here to visit, and like I said, it was an attempt. Don't know how it's gonna look like. It's in production. Once it's done, we'll watch it and see if it's good enough for y'all to watch. We'll see.
We'll see how good our just the challenge of is our editor putting all of our different videos and mash it together, because Pauline had her videos that she made, I had my videos that I made, and we're gonna try to like mesh them. So hopefully we'll have an interesting little travel vlog for you in the future. But regardless, it was a blast, and thank you, Pauline.
It was
for
a blast.
me in that.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about story time. So you guys are going to go on a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. You're gonna go on a trip with us to our past, how we became therapists, and all the ins and outs of that. And then at the end, we're gonna have some question and answer time. So, Pauline, would you like to share with our therapy talkers first on like this story time episode?
This story time.
Yes.
Gather round, children. How did I become a therapist? Okay, Tammy. So this is my story. It's an interesting one. I didn't always know I wanted to become a therapist, because growing up, one, I didn't even know what a therapist was not in my vocabulary, wasn't talked about. But in most African cultures, but let me talk about mine, in my Ghanaian home, I was given the option of either becoming a doctor or a lawyer, right? So those were my two options. It wasn't even explicitly said to me, but I just knew, just coming out like, hey, I have these two options, I'm picking one. So I chose this path for myself. So my high school, the classes I chose all reflected I'm going to be a doctor someday. And then graduated high school, got into this school in West Texas specifically because they were like top tier in like success rates and their students getting into medical school. So I'm like, well, yeah, and I get to be like far away from my family. I really wanted to go out of state, but Johns Hopkins says no. So I said, okay, cool. And then, where am I? So, yes. So I'm a biology major, minor in chemistry, loving biology, no problem. Chemistry, however, oh, the relationship of mine. I wasn't doing well in chemistry, but we were required to have a social science of some sort with the degree program. So I chose psychology. So I took a Psych 101 course, and I have to tell y'all, it just clicked. Mind blown, like everything. It just, I don't know how to explain this, but it just, game changer, made sense to me. So now I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to be a doctor. That's what I'm supposed to be. But I'm taking more and more psychology courses. And I thank my Psych 101 professor, because she was the person. I took all her classes because she just did so well in making it click, that I'm like, well, I don't want to go to medical school. What school is going to take me? I'm having to retake all these classes. My grades are not good enough, but I'm making all A's in my psychology classes. Okay, didn't have to flip a coin. I just changed my major.
It's just that easy.
Yes, and I told my mom about it, and she was like, oh, yes, why not? So I did it.
I like how you talk in her accent when you do that with your mom.
Hey, Mom, you're probably going to be upset I did that.
I love it. I think it's so cute.
Okay, so now I've graduated with a degree in psychology, minor in sociology, different path, which all makes sense now thinking about it, because in high school, like my friends and I would play this game of like me being a therapist and them coming to me, and we'll just like have fun drawing pictures and me talking to them about it and stuff like that. So had I known that was my path, of course I would have chosen something else. Didn't know. I am supposed to be a doctor. So here I am.
You're a doctor of a different sorts.
Yes. So got into grad school. Did all of that. My major was community counseling in San Antonio. Did that. graduated in 2013, and then did the whole licensure. We have to take these. Okay, I'm editing myself here, but we have to jump through hoops, and then we become licensed. And this license only works in one state. So if I wanted to I moved to Oregon, I had to become licensed here as well as I was in Texas. So I'm here now, and I'm a therapist. That was my journey. Quick, short, but if you want more detail, this is me baiting you in to leave a comment below.
Ask the questions. Yes.
Yes.
And that takes a lot for Pauline to share. So, Pauline, thank you for sharing that. I know it's not easy for you to do that. It's a little bit easier for me, but you are putting yourself out there, out of your comfort zone. I appreciate that for our fans.
Our fans.
Fandom.
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit about me. So did I always know? No, but looking back, I can see like it peppered throughout my life where I'm like, yeah, looking back, I can see how I became a therapist. Much like your friends coming over to you, I had non-talking friends. I had stuffed animals that I would like prop up and like I would like problem solve their problems. So like Teddy is fighting with Kitty Cat today. What are you going to do about it? And so I would problem solve with my stuffed animals. But I loved the animals and I wanted to be a veterinarian, but that quickly got squashed when people told me how many years it was going to take for me to be a veterinarian. My backup plan was to be a country singer. I love to sing, or I used to. But anyway, I was gonna make my career being a country singer, so that was my backup plan. We could see how that ended. But I grew up watching Oprah and Sally, and I just love the field of helping others. So again, that started. Oh no. Are you there?
Yes?
I can't see your face. So it prompted my love for self-help books. I later like got into my first Psychology Today magazine, and then I had my first psychology class. Loved it. But people told me, you're not going to make money as a therapist or counselor. So I decided a different route, or so I thought. Got to high school at the tail end of the big aqua hairnet days, the Gorilla Glue for the hair. So I think we're going to pop some pictures up of that. But when I graduated, I started my family very early, got married early, had a kid very, very early. So life was pretty simple, but yet very difficult at the same time. My family wanted me to work at a factory, and I just didn't want any part of that. So I decided to go to beauty school, because that's what girls do, right? If you like hair. So I went to beauty school, but I dropped out 6 months later.
Cue the song, please.
Beauty school dropout.
Beauty school dropout.
Go back to high school.
Love it.
So, but it took me a long time to get into college. I took one class at a time. So persistence paid off, but 14 years later, I had an AA in criminal justice and a major in psychology. And I knew I wasn't going to take that long for my master's degree. So I plugged right in immediately to get my master's degree from Drake. I got my master's in community mental health, much like you, Pauline. And went back to get my certification in school counseling. I dabbled in school counseling for a while. I jumped around from job to job for quite a while. But here I am. But before licensing, let's talk a little bit about licensing. I had a lot of test anxiety, so that was very difficult to get through. But once I got that done, oh my gosh, you know, it was an awesome culmination of like my path and how I got there, because it was hard to like go through school and raise babies and do full-time everything. And yes, but getting my license was freaking phenomenal. And it was I think it was the most emotional I've ever been, honestly, which is pretty sad. But the blood, sweat, and tears involved in that is just, whew, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard work.
It is hard work. Yes.
Wow.
Very, very hard
I mean,
work.
I think you're representing such a special, unique population, right? It's Women's History Month, and you're a woman, a mom, but to do all of that, to be all of that, and to get your license, like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
queen.
Yeah, it was, but I wouldn't have changed it, because I've learned so much. Just like with everybody else's path, your path becomes your story, and I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't have those challenges and
No
struggles.
kidding.
Just like you, it makes us who we are. So
It makes us who we are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Pauline, I'm thinking that we should move into our questions and answer. But so looking back on the path of how you became a therapist, because that's what we're talking about, right? Do you wish there are things that you knew then that you know now?
I have like a laundry list. But I'm going to share one because I think this is very important. In school, we are taught, read this book, take this test, write this essay, blah, 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 blah. All of that. Hoops, more hoops. But one thing that I've learned is to just be myself, because that is how that just works. We're not taught that you can be yourself in therapy. And so that's one thing that I wish I knew sooner, but I'm definitely glad I know now. I had to learn it myself. And when I did, it's just like, oh, that's it. I'm still a professional, but my personality is part of my work. Yep.
That
What
is
about
so
you?
true. Yeah, I would say almost exact same thing. If you watch our video on vulnerability, there's a plug for that. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a look. But we talk about it's okay to be human, and I think we aren't taught those things. We are taught to be we have to diagnose and we have to listen. We have like a laundry list of things that we have to do for our session and insurance billing and things like that. But they don't teach you that you can be yourself. And I'm really big on being authentic of who you are. And I've learned that. It wasn't a natural transition because we weren't taught that. We had this big book of the Bible, the DSM-5. Pauline usually has it right next to her. Maybe she can show you real quick. But yeah, we're taught that book and really nothing else. And so the learning of the people skills of even personal development for ourselves is huge. So we are human. We have struggles as well. I want to talk to you just like I talk to my friend. Otherwise, I'm going to be a fake person and you're not going to want to come see me because I'm being a facade of somebody else. And that's not what you need in a therapist. You need somebody who's real, somebody who messes up, and I mess up, somebody who's real. And again, vulnerable. One other thing I would say too is like compassion fatigue and burnout and secondary trauma. Nobody taught us how to deal with that. And I think I learned the hard way on my own by severe burnout.
Yes.
Yes.
I definitely agree with that. We're just taught to, you do this job and this is your job, and what, you get tired? No idea, but you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty
really
fast. Pretty fast.
So, yeah.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
What do you like about being a therapist now?
Not the paperwork. I would say the people, absolutely the people. It's a humbling career, and the fact that I get to see people a lot of times at their worst, and then just like watch their transition as they're moving through, their phases of their life, much like what we talked about ours. Everybody struggles, but it's really nice to be on the other side of that and just see like them transforming into their best self. And it is the best thing in the world to sit through somebody at their worst and see them at their best and just see them blossom as a person. It's very, very humbling. Yeah, that's what I would say. That's my mushy comment. What about you? What would you say about that?
I would say the same. And to add on, it would be like that light bulb moment that happens, because as therapists, we cannot like tell you what to do. but we will guide you and be right by your side to feel all what you're feeling and that experience. But then that day where you come into the office and you're like, I should have left Greg a year ago. Like, okay, let's talk about that. Hey, Greg. Right. So I don't know who Greg is, but she should have left you a year ago, Greg. So that light bulb is always like,
yes,
it's a feeling I can't describe. I don't have words to describe that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. So, Pauline, would you do anything differently? So we're talking about how we are therapists. Would you do anything differently if we could do it all over again?
If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't say so. Like you said, these experiences that we've had that guided us to this moment. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are. So I would not go back. I would. This is an opportunity that I get to have, and do I have dreams of doing something completely different as a therapist? Yes. I love my job, but it's not something I want to do. I don't want to have gray hair and do therapy. That's how I'm going to put it. I'm going to be in a different career point, and that's why YouTube is we're doing this thing too. Is partially that reason. We're moving into a different place. How can we reach more people? YouTube is that place. So, yeah. You?
You know, it took me a long time to get here. But, yeah, I don't want to sit. I sit and sit and sit all day long. I don't want to sit the rest of my life. You know, I don't want to be stagnant, and that's another thing. But I don't want to sit and watch my life go by and miss things. I love my clients. I love what I do. I actually wouldn't change it for anything, but I think moving forward in the future, I don't think physically I can sit all day long.
Yeah.
I would really like to travel. I would get out to move more. I have a big bucket list book, and I need to get through it before I die. So my bucket list book, even though I love doing what I do and caring for people, and it is my calling, I truly, honestly, 100% believe that, but I don't think I'm going to be good for the long haul. I need other things. Maybe a party planner, maybe petting dogs for a living. I don't know, but I love what I'm doing now, but I'm okay with doing something different in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, how have you grown?
It's exactly what you talked about earlier, the things that we don't learn in school. We learn to be vulnerable. We learn to be a real person, not just a facade of a person. So I would say that's a huge thing as I grew as a therapist. And if we can get that message out there to up and coming therapists, that would be huge. As a game changer, as an actual clinician, I would say EMDR changed the way I do therapy. But I like building rapport. I like being present and caring for people. But I would say how I've grown as a therapist is exactly what you and I already talked about. It's just being vulnerable, being ourselves, and being authentic. That was not always there, not at all. How about you?
Same. The ability for me to be myself in sessions has been a game changer for me. Yes, I'm still like learning clinical stuff and things like that because those are the tools we need to do what we can do. I mean, it's kind of like the tools are like having all these ingredients in your pantry, but what can you make with it is a whole different thing. So I have these tools and I get to use it in a different way because that's just how my brain works. And that's what my clients need from me. So that's how I've grown, is to learn how to use these tools that I was taught in a different way every time to meet the needs. So that's what I have.
That's absolutely, yeah. We're on the same page.
Girl, that's why we are twins.
That's why we are. We're twins. So my last question, and hopefully our segue out of here so people can get to doing what they're supposed to be doing. But while you're here, hit like and subscribe. We want you to do that.
My mom says you guys need to do it. Hey, Mom.
Yes. You need, just like your own mom, you need to listen to your own mom. You need to listen to Pauline's mom. So do it.
Hi, Mom.
So, Pauline, how did we get to the point where we are today, with having this fantastic YouTube channel? How did it come about from your perspective?
My perspective. So here is a story within a story. Brace yourself. 2020 happened, and that's how this YouTube channel was created. You got popcorn? Girl.
I got popcorn!
Throw one over here. I'll catch it.
Here, I'll hand you some. Yeah.
Okay. Back to this story within a story. So beginning of 2020, I decided I wanted to not be on social media. This was before everything that had, like, what was COVID? Don't know, but had no idea. Anyway, I got off social media, but in doing so, is who I am. I like learning. And so I was like, let me just hop on YouTube. And I have YouTube Premium, means no ads. So I'm watching things back to back, learning stuff, just being entertained. And then one evening before going to bed, I was like, wait, I could be on this phone that you're holding upside down in bed and then hits you on the forehead. I could be that person on your screen. That's like the thought that came up, and I'm like, what? So then before I got to bed was I texted Tammy. I texted you, and I was like, Tammy, let's start a YouTube channel. I don't know if you still have this text message, but I remember
if we do, we're gonna screenshot it and we're gonna put it on here. Yes.
Yeah. So this is where you come in.
Yeah. So I'm awake. I'm 2 hours behind Pauline. I get this message, and I don't even think
you're ahead of me.
Oh yeah, not behind you, ahead of you. Sorry. Yeah. But this kind of goes with my personality. But I'm like, okay, and I think about it later. But hindsight is, I try to have this YouTube channel when I got rid of everything, and my husband and I moved across the United States in our RV. I wanted to have this vlog on RV living and blah blah blah. It didn't work because we didn't have internet connection, a small thing called internet connection. But anyway, when Pauline said it, I was like, it's 2020, we're spending all this time in front of like cameras and stuff, and I'm like, why not? I mean, there's a lot of like shady, weird stuff out there, and I'm like, if they can do it, why can't we? We have actual content, and we have two people from two different perspectives, and it just really meshed together, and I really think it was a God thing. But timing is everything, right? It was amazing how it just kind of melded into this almost full-time part career.
Yes.
Doing a YouTube channel. I didn't know there's going to be this much work involved, honestly, but it is a great outlet, and I'm glad you reached out to me. So that's the YouTube story.
That's the YouTube story. Maybe we'll go more in depth some other time on how that, the text message was sent. She replies, now what? Like, perhaps I think we should actually get into more deep
because I think
conversations about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cover you up. I think we offer a pretty unique aspect of it because, we're in two different geographic locations. And I think one of our goals is, moving forward, we would like to do more travel therapy. We would like to come to you and highlight you and your life and your geographic location and talk about mental health that's pertaining to you. So get a hold of us. Hopefully as we move to 2021, travel restrictions will start to open up and we can travel more often, and we can become this great YouTube channel that features and showcases you. I think isn't that our goal, Pauline? That's
our goal. Yeah. Like we want to travel, want to meet other mental health professionals, want to meet other people who not just in the United States but internationally. No. Like, what does mental health actually look like in Australia? Things like that. So,
oh my gosh, and that sounds so fascinating to me. So I'm going to just name it and claim it. I'm going to say we're going to get there.
We're manifesting.
I'm going to put it out there in the universe, and we're going to get it, and we're going to meet people from all over the world and talk about mental health, and we're going to have the best mental health YouTube content out there. But right now, we are very humbled. Thank you for sticking around to the very end of our story time. You learned more about Pauline. I learned more about Pauline. You learned about me, and we are super happy that you're here. Hit like and subscribe, like I said before, and share this content because this stuff might really hit home for somebody else. If it doesn't hit home for you, it might hit home for somebody else. So remember, the best is yet to come, and we'll be back here next week. Bye.
Bye.